Hi guys and welcome back. So I want to talk about something that's so important. How to farm any airdrop with more than one wallet. Yes, I know many of you are already telling me on my videos and so on. Man, it's impossible right now. Any project is hunting for sybils. Yes, I know that, but I can tell you, it's not completely true. Yes, they are hunting. There is a specific reason why they are doing that, and I will tell you just in a second. But at the same time, think about, do you really think that insiders and anyone into a privileged situation, in a privileged position, will stop farming these airdrops with more than one wallet? They will not, obviously, but also because there is a way to behave, a way of doing that can allow you to farm any airdrop with more than one wallet. It doesn't matter if it's 1, 10, 100, or whatever is the number. If you are following the right rules, you will succeed. And that's the point. They are just threatening the user base, the large user base, telling them, stop doing that. While at the end of the story, most of the real people, whales, people who are having the money, who are knowing the rules, they are taking your money. I want to teach you which are the behind of the scene rules that are governing these plays. And if you know them, well, you can farm with 10, which is whatever is the number that you want to farm airdrops. Just before to start, guys, let me say one thing, guys. As always, I'm just here to educate, to help you to understand what's going into this industry. Nothing has to be intended as financial advice. What you have to do always is do your own research. That's so important because it's you. It's only on you to understand which is the best strategy for your own risk appetite and for your own portfolio. So it's so important you understand that. And guys, just don't forget to leave us a big thumbs up. Drop a comment to the comment section. Let me know which bots or how you are behaving when it comes to airdrop hunting, and if you have any other trick that you want to share with everyone. Okay, guys, let's start. So I want to start with one thing. The real reason why any project, and it's not just about LayerZero, ZkSync, but many projects are all saying, guys, we will hunt sybils. And the reason is simple, guys. There is not enough money for everyone. And think about, if there has been a time when there were just like a couple of hundreds of thousands of users, wallets that were qualifying, even if they were just distributing like 100 million divided by 100,000, it was still 1,000 per wallet. So that's pretty a lot of money. But right now we have millions of users, wallets that are farming the same airdrop. And it doesn't matter how big is the airdrop. Even if they are distributing 200 million, so more than double, divided by 5 million, it makes just $400. That's not enough to satisfy all the people that are putting so much effort into this activity. So they have to find a sort of proxy, a sort of way to tell, okay, these wallets are not qualified anymore because they have been breaking the rules. And it doesn't matter, they don't really care if it's a sybil, real sybil or not. The point is just finding a way to satisfy the largest user base, and most important, the people who are having the money. Because as always, if I have a project, I don't really care about having 1,000 users that are bringing just 1 cent. I'm caring about the 10 users that can bring me 10 million, because at the end of the story, it's always a matter of how much money you're moving. Okay, now that we have understood that the real point is that we have to make sustainable airdrops, and the only way to do that is distributing the same amount of money but to a lower amount of people, so finding a rule to decreasing the amount of wallets that are qualified. Now let's try to understand how they are behaving in order to eliminate you, because that's what is happening. And the point is that they are trying to create clusters. A cluster is the keyword that you have to remember if you wanna farm with 10, 100 wallets, or whatever is the number. Because they are just trying to understand, is there any kind of pattern that is grouping all of these wallets? And if they are finding it, they are saying, okay, you are a cluster. So you are just as in some way someone that is trying to cheat, or simply it is a sybil cluster. So the basic rule is that you have to not create clusters. It looks pretty simple because if you behave with all of your wallets in a way that there is no way to cluster them. And guys, it's not just about sending money from one wallet to the other one. That's a basic thing that you don't have to do if you want to keep each wallet autonomous. But most of all, you don't have to cluster them. Clustering means, for example, you are moving, let's say $10 in each wallet. So let's say that you have an account on KuCoin and you have $1,000 and you are moving $10 into 100 different wallets. That's something that is not good, specifically if you're doing that at the same time or in a specific time span. Think about what it can do is simply checking out which are the addresses that interacted with a specific protocol, for example, LayerZero, and checking when they started to use that wallet. So what was the origin of the funds? And we'll find out that all of them were coming from, or at least a cluster of wallet where was funded into the same day with always $10 that was coming from a KuCoin. Obviously, it's not enough to define a sybil, but that's a warning signal. So we have to avoid that as a first thing. After that, avoid to farm the same kind of protocols at the same time or always the same kind of chains because it's pretty obvious if all the 100 wallets are farming just on Avalanche, on Binance Smart Chain, on Ethereum, and just these 5 other protocols performing the same kind of actions. It looks like a behavioral pattern. And you have to avoid that. Why not instead of doing like first wallet is using this and this chain, and it is using it for 1 month, and maybe after that is changing chains. Try to make some kind of randomness into what you're doing because a pattern is something that a machine can recognize as a similar. It's not about finding the truth. Nobody has it. The point is literally finding similarities. So our goal is to make our wallets as far as possible from one to the other one. They have to look diverse. And if you're doing that, there is no way that you will be labeled as a sybil. So first of all, use an origin of the funds, if it's possible, from different exchange. Use KuCoin, Maxi, Bybit, or whatever. Use as many as you want. The more you're using, the more you are diversifying your behaviors. Send a different amount of dollar, if it's possible, not like 9.77 and after that 9.89. Send something like, in one case 10, in another case 13, in another case 44, and whatever is the number, doesn't matter. Use different amounts. And if it's possible, use different assets. If one time you are sending AVAX, another time send USDT or USDC or whatever, the more different are your wallets, the better it is. Rule number 3, if you're using, for example, cross-chain protocols like LayerZero, don't use just Target for all the wallets. Use different tools. And if it's possible, for example, one week you're using a thing for a wallet, another week you are changing, try to mix what you are using. Try to use also the protocols, the actions that you are performing with each wallet in different moments. Different moments, guys, is so important. If you're performing that all clustered at the same time, it's not good. Use one wallet, for example, on Monday morning, another one on Friday at 5 p.m. If it's possible, it's not that you are just programming every Friday at 5 p.m. I will do this action with this wallet because it looks like a pretty robotic action. Try to make the actions looking like you are a real user. It's pretty obvious. I will show you a couple of examples so to make it clear. So don't worry, I have prepared already a couple of examples that are coming from real cases on how they are supposing that a couple of users are sybils just because they are finding these kind of patterns. So do that in a more organic way as possible. So try to change. For example, one wallet could perform actions from like on Monday can perform on in the morning, on Tuesday in the evening, and so on. And the next week, let's change it again. If on Monday they were using like on in the morning, after do that in the evening, and so on. Keep changing and keep creating reality. As more real they look like, the better it is. Another thing that is so important, and that's the fifth trick, is that use these wallets also to perform other actions that are not just about farming. Because what a Sybil hunter can do is, oh my god, this guy is just farming um, airdrops. It looks like an inorganic wallet. So just try to perform swaps on Ethereum. Yes, it costs pretty a lot, but do that on Avalanche or whatever. Actions that are making your wallet looking like a real wallet. But let me show you a couple of examples and let's dig into the matter in order to understand really literally what's a good action and what's not. So as you can see, we will use the LayerZero example mainly because it's the biggest one and we will learn a lot from that. And guys, watch the video until the end because at the end of these couple of examples that I want to show you, I will also share with you another thing that is another technique that these projects are using in order to label the different wallets as a sybil wallet. So pay attention to that because if you want to farm with 10, 100, or whatever is the number of wallets that you want to farm, yes, the rules that I just told you are perfect, but you need to know that thing because it's pretty important when it comes to the risk analysis for you. But we will go back to that just in a moment. First of all, I want to suggest you go to the Brian Pellegrino account. He's he's the founder of LayerZero because he is sharing a lot of cases and they can teach you literally a lot. For example, in this case, he's saying, can someone explain the Sybil cluster to me? This goes on for about 1,000 wallets. These were all done basically one after another for exact same amount of gas fee. So as you can see, he is talking about gas fees. So if you're setting the gas fees the same way, it's not good. Try to diversify everything. Timing, gas fees, amount, protocols that you are using, timing. The more you are diversifying all these things, the better it is for yourself. So as you can see, even the gas fee is something that is taken under account. Or another thing, look at this one. To be clear, this is one person, one wallet, but clearly inorganic activity. So what he's saying is that a user, real case, takes 2 ETH and spins it across all the layer 2s every 10 minutes or every week. So as you can understand, they are recognizing the pattern. And you don't have to create any pattern because even if you're just using a single wallet, you are at risk to be labeled as a sybil because you are inorganic. You need to look organic. That's so important. Let's go on. Take, for example, this one. As you can see, they are using average LZ transaction amount. It's always the same. Number of application, it's always the same. Number of chains, it's always the same. Distance is about time. You can even just take this table and consider for each column, you need to diversify that variable because if it is diverse, there is no way that you will be labeled as a sybil. So as you can understand, it's not rocket science. As long as we understand that it's not anymore what it was like 2 years ago. Right now, airdrop farming, it's a highly competitive space. And where there is competition, also the techniques that we have to use should evolve. It's not just about pressing a button and the bot will work for us. Yes, you can do, but you have to set it up in the correct way. Obviously, it takes time and there is always the risk that something goes wrong. That's something that you should take in account. And don't forget that using all of these protocols, performing these actions has a cost that if for any reason you will not be rewarded with an airdrop, the cost is gone and your money is gone too. So pay attention to that. Do that only if you are aware of the pros, the cons, and so on. Personally speaking, I'm not using multiple wallets simply because it takes time and I don't have much time. But if you have time there is nothing bad of farming with 10, 50, or whatever is the number of the wallets that you are using, as long as you are aware of the tricks and exactly what you have to follow in order to look real and organic, guys. Organic is not just about having a single wallet, but to be organic. Now, I promise you another thing, because there is a single action that is like the gateway that many projects are starting to use right now in order to hunt sybils activities. And I'm talking about KYC. I'm not saying that all the projects will do that, but I'm saying that many projects are doing that. We have seen oracles like Supra using KYC. We have seen Over Protocol that is using KYC, and also Holograph that is another one. It's about bridging. It is just launching right now. They are requiring to KYC through Bybit. So there are many projects that in order to reduce the amount of qualified wallets, they are using this as a trick. The reason why I'm telling you this is because you need to take it into account as a cost, as a possible cost, in the case you are investing a lot of money on farming these airdrops, but at the end of the story, they will ask you to qualify with a KYC. As always, there is the trick that many are using, like using the KYC of your friends, of your family, or whatever. Or even one thing that I have seen on Twitter, they are selling accounts. They are saying to the different users, okay, let's take my wallet, let's KYC it through you, and I will give you half of the allocation if you are doing that for me. So yes, there is a sort of way out, but obviously it's not like farming by yourself and being fully autonomous. So pay attention to that. So be aware that airdrops are becoming much more competitive. It is still possible to farm with 10, 50, 100 wallets. It's absolutely possible if you're doing it into the correct way. Take as an example all the posts of Brian Pellegrino from LayerZero, because they can teach you a lot. And finally, be aware that it's possible that sooner or later the airdrop that you are farming will ask you to KYC you. So be aware of that and decide if it's still worth the game and the effort to keep farming it, or if it's just maybe to change your strategy. Okay, guys, let me know if I missed any other trick, any other thing that is significant. Let me know it in the comment section, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye, guys.